Hello, and welcome to Conquering Finale. My name is Jason Lafredo, and today we are mastering the measure tool again. Specifically, we're looking at group bar lines. Now, group bar lines are a little bit unique in Finale, and this is actually more part of the staff tool than it is the measure tool, but there's definitely some interplay between the two. So I think it's important to do this lesson sort of grouped in with the other bar line lessons from the measure tool. So I'll be in the staff tool a bit more than usual, but that's okay. So every group, now in this particular score, I've got a group for the piano. Obviously, it's got a brace here, and the bar lines are drawn through the staves here. But I've also got a group for the choral group here, and you see that the bar lines are done differently. There's no bar line that draws all the way through the group in this case. Now, Finale sets this up by default, and it makes sense because in choral groups, you don't want that bar line going through in between systems or in between staffs because it will interfere with the lyrics. So Finale appropriately sets these choral groups up without that bar line going between staffs. All other groups it will set up with a bar line going between staffs. Now, to kind of see what's going on, we have to find the group attributes, and the easiest way that I usually do this is just double-click one of the brackets here to pull up the group attributes for that particular instrument. You can see I've got piano selected here, and this is the group attributes window. Now, the portion that's related to bar lines is right in the center here. We have bar lines, and there's a few options here for draw bar lines, and we have through staffs, which is what the piano is set to. We have only on staffs, and if we choose that one, you'll see that the bar line between the staffs goes away, just like the choral group. In fact, if I double-click the choral group, you'll see that that's how it's set, only on staffs. But let's go back here, and there is a third option there called only between staffs, or Mensurstriche, if my German pronunciation is terrible. This would draw the lines between the staffs in this particular style of bar lines if you need something like that. So again, there's three different options there for where to draw the bar lines in the groups, all right? But again, for the piano, we want the through staffs. Now, one thing that's unique about group bar lines, and this will be a little bit more evident if I change this bar line to say final, what you'll see is that normal bar lines are black, but the group bar lines are blue. And you'll probably know that Finale will color certain things just to sort of help you understand, how things are grouped in the program. And groups get colored blue. So you can see now that this blue bar line here, or all the bar lines in the piano part, are blue because that means it's unique to this particular group, or the settings of these bar lines are unique to this particular group. Interestingly, it will not color the choral group bar lines blue because basically there's no difference between the way these bar lines are versus any other normal bar lines that are not part of a group, like the clarinet and horn parts are not actually part of a group in this score. So it's only when something unique is going on with the bar lines that they'll color blue for the group. Again, if I were to go back and choose only on staffs, you'll see those bar lines are now black. All right. Even the only between staffs will color them blue, again, because it's unique. All right. The other important thing that we can do with the group attributes as it relates to bar lines is we can use an alternate group bar line. So I'm in the piano section here. I'm going to check this to use an alternate group bar line, and I'm going to do something unique, like I'm going to use dashed bar lines for the piano. And this will create dashed bar lines, well, except for the very first one. Let's go back and choose normal, and I'll show you about that in a second. And you'll see that the piano now has unique bar lines compared to the other instruments. And actually, if we do that in the choral group as well, let's just say we're going to use alternate solid bars here. You'll see that you get solid bar lines for the choral group. Now, in this instance, the bar lines in the chorus group will get turned blue because there's something unique going on about these bar lines. Basically, it's kind of like, think about it like unlinking and linking. You know how unlinking will turn things orange? Well, as far as bar lines are concerned with groups, they will turn blue if there's something unique about those bar lines in relation to the group. So that's what's going on. You're using an alternate group bar line, so they're going to get turned blue, okay? And let's just go back and undo that just for this. Now, the thing about group bar lines is that if you're not using an alternate group bar line, then it's really simple. The bar line style is going to match whatever style you choose for that bar line in the measure attributes. So you change a double bar line for everybody, and it changes for the group as well. You're not having to change the bar line for both the score and the individual groups at once, which would just kind of be a big pain in the neck. However, if you have it set up where your groups has an alternate group bar line, like let's say that we go back to this dashed bar line, now when we change bar lines up and down the score and the measure attributes, this option here, override group bar lines, becomes important, because if I were to select the double bar line, for example, the double bar line is set to always override, as is the final, as is the solid. The rest are not. But if I choose one of these options that are set to override the group bar line, and I click OK, now I'm going to get that double bar line up and down the score, as well as in the group, or the piano group here, despite the fact that the piano is showing a basically independent bar line style. Now, if I were to uncheck this override group bar line for this bar line in the first measure, then it will leave that alone and it won't override that. So now I've got the double bar line up here and the dotted, the dash bar line still in the group. Now, some of these bar lines, as I mentioned, will automatically override if you choose them. The double bar line, the final, the solid, kind of makes sense. But, particularly with the final, you want a final bar line. It's a final bar line. You don't need to necessarily not have that. So, but other ones like the normal do not have this checked. And as you can see, you'll get the normal bar line and the dash bar line. But you can always use the override here. And that will draw the normal bar line in the group as well, overriding the dashed bar line. So you can kind of see there's a myriad or a matrix of things going on here as far as setting the bar line and the measure attributes, overriding the group or not overriding the group, specifying whether or not the group itself has an alternate group bar line, etc. And again, really this only applies when this use alternate group bar line is checked for any of your groups. If this is unchecked, then that option to override group bar lines is sort of non-important, as it were. So that is group bar lines. It's a little bit tricky, but that is kind of how it works. I hope this has helped, and come back and we'll continue talking about more things having to do with the bar lines. All right, thanks a lot. My name is Jason, and this has been another Mastering the Measure Tool video. I will see you soon on the next one.